For years, the transfer portal has been a controversial topic, especially when you bring in the factor of NIL. While there is some annoying stuff that comes because of the portal, it also provides us with some great stories of players who may have been overlooked coming out of high school that proved they belonged at lower levels of college football and decided to make the jump up to the FBS for one reason or another. These are some of my favorite stories to cover because they are stories of players betting on themselves and persevering while taking a different route to big-time college football. A key player that comes to mind is a guy like Cam Ward, who may be taken first overall in this year's NFL draft. In this video, I want to cover 3 players who transferred to the Power 4 from lower level schools that could make major impacts this year. These are 3 lower level transfers that could take over college football. But before we get into this, if you enjoy college football content like this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also let me know which transfer portal player you are most excited to watch this season in the comment section below. The biggest name of lower level transfers up to the FBS has to be former Walter Payton Award winner and 2-time FCS national champion Mark Gronowski from South Dakota State. Gronowski grew up in Naperville, Illinois and attended Necco Valley High School. His father played football at Drake, while his sister played softball at Butler. His older brother Ryan competes at the Special Olympics and taught Mark how to be positive every day. He would begin to make a name for himself his junior year when he was named All-Conference, but his senior year would be his breakout season. Gronowski would throw for 1,663 yards and 15 touchdowns, while only having 1 interception, and rushing for 846 yards and 12 touchdowns on the ground, averaging 6.9 yards per carry. He was named DuPage Valley Conference Offensive Player of the Year and earned All-State honors from the Illinois High School Football Coaches Association, also being named a 2019 Illinois Gatorade Player of the Year award nominee. The winner of the award would eventually be former Iowa State quarterback Hunter Dekkers. Been debating about doing a video updating his crazy story, so let me know if you want to see that video in the comment section below. While Mark would find a lot of success at the high school level, throwing for 2,863 passing yards and rushing for 1,219 yards on the ground, while accounting for 39 total touchdowns throughout his career, he would sort of fly under the radar on the recruiting trail. He would not be rated by 24/7 Sports Composite for the class of 2020, would only receive a Division I scholarship offer from South Dakota State. He would also earn offers from Butler and Valparaiso of the Pioneer League, which is a non-scholarship football league at the FCS level, and earned offers from Division II Quincy and Bemidji State. He also would have preferred walk-on opportunities at Iowa, Michigan State, Wisconsin, and Stanford. He would catch the attention of the South Dakota State coaching staff at a camp at North Central College, and the Jackrabbits hosted him for an on-campus visit heading into his senior season. At the time, recruiting had been tough for Mark, as he would always get responses from coaches saying, "We like you, you're on our board, you're just not at the top, and we want to wait and see what our top guys do." Mark only really received attention from South Dakota State, and had also watched as successful FCS quarterbacks could have when it came to the NFL draft. Telling The Athletic back in 2024, Trey Lance was drafted high. Carson Wentz and Easton Stick were drafted out of North Dakota State. Seeing those guys get drafted out of the Missouri Valley Conference, I knew if I went to South Dakota State and had a successful career, that I would have the same opportunity as those guys. Gronowski would sign with the Jackrabbits, and it was seemingly a match made in heaven. Once he arrived in Brookings and started to focus on football year-round, Gronowski showed quick development physically and mentally. He would be named the starting quarterback as a true freshman and began to find a ton of success. Things were growing great as he would throw for 1,565 yards, 15 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, while also rushing for 577 yards and 7 touchdowns on the ground, leading the Jackrabbits to the FCS national title game during the shortened spring season. That is when things would come crashing down though, as 6 plays into the national title game, he would tear his ACL and MCL, which sidelined him for the 2021 season. He spoke on the injury saying, "There were a lot of dark, monotonous days. But I'm kind of glad I went through that experience because it helped open doors, both in football and outside of football. I was able to learn the game at a higher level." This led to South Dakota State bringing in 6th-year senior Chris Oladokun, who had played at USF and Samford. Working with the senior quarterback while hurt, Gronowski gained a new perspective for the game, and it helped slow everything down for him. He explained, "It really developed my ability to see what defenses are doing and making pre-snap plans. I feel like I know the outcome almost before it happens, which is such a benefit for me. Things don't always go according to what you think, but making quick decisions on the field is a huge difference for me now compared to my freshman year. Chris would go on to be drafted in the 7th round of the 2022 NFL Draft. When Mark returned to the starting quarterback role in 2022, he would lead South Dakota State back to the FCS national title game, throwing for 223 yards and 3 touchdowns, also rushing for 57 yards and a touchdown in a dominant Jackrabbits win over rival North Dakota State, 45-21 to finish the year, throwing for 2,097 yards, 26 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, also rushing for 408 yards and 12 touchdowns on the ground, as South Dakota State finished the year 14-1 and won the national title. He got even better in 2023, throwing for 3,058 yards, 29 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, while also rushing for 402 yards and 8 touchdowns on the ground, leading the Jackrabbits to a perfect 15-0 record and their 2nd straight national title. He would be named the Walter Payton Award winner, the Heisman of the FCS level, along with a slew of other awards. Heading into the 2024 season, the Jackrabbits lost their offense coordinator, the same guy who recruited Mark to SDSU, to Northwestern, and some thought he may transfer, especially with a major roster overhaul on the horizon with multiple playmakers going off to the NFL. Mark received several FBS offers, including Northwestern, along with high-profile ACC schools looking for an upgrade at quarterback. He would choose to stay in Brookings for one more season and hope to jump into the 2025 NFL Draft. He ended the season with a 37-3 record as the Jackrabbits starting quarterback, led them to a 12-3 record where he threw for 2,721 yards, 23 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, whilst rushing for 380 yards and 10 touchdowns on the ground, while playing with a shoulder injury for most of the season. When head coach Jimmy Rogers announced he was leaving to take the Washington State job, Gronowski would decide to enter the transfer portal, finishing his Jackrabbits career throwing for 10,330 yards and 93 touchdowns, while also rushing for 1,767 yards and 37 touchdowns on the ground, tying the FCS record for wins in a career with a 49-6 record he holds with North Dakota State's Easton Stick. He would also consider the NFL Draft, and he would be one of the more sought-after veteran quarterbacks in the transfer portal, with Texas Tech and Iowa pursuing him the most. He would choose to become a Hawkeye. He would miss spring practice recovering from his shoulder surgery, but Iowa fans are excited for what he could do this upcoming season. Head coach Kirk Ferentz spoke on his new quarterback, saying, "First of all, we got to see him on film, and that speaks for itself. Whether it was how he played, but more importantly, I think quarterback is a leadership position. There's no avoiding that. He clearly did that. He delivered his team to victory a lot, and that's really impressive." Machias Humphrey Grace from South Dakota has to be one of the best defensive linemen in the nation coming up from the FCS level. Machias grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio, and attended Princeton High School, where he originally played as a safety and also competed in track and field. As a senior, he would be named All-Conference and Honorable Mention All-District after racking up 9.5 sacks and 15 tackles for loss, helping the Vikings go 11-2. His senior year was the first time he had played the defensive line position, and as a result, he would fly under the radar. Like Gronowski, he would not be rated by 24/7 Sports Composite, but earned offers from Albany, Navy, Notre Dame College, Robert Morris, and South Dakota, choosing to attend South Dakota. When he got to South Dakota, he knew he had his work cut out for him, telling 24/7 Sports, "Obviously I had long-term goals, but going in there, it was just take it one year at a time, step by step. I came in as a freshman and I had only played D-line for 1 year at that time, so I wasn't really familiar with that. So I knew I had to learn stuff, so that's why I really didn't take it like, oh, I'm going to play here and then go to the SEC. I knew I had to develop. My development was very important, so that was the main thing I had to do." He would redshirt as a true freshman, but got to play in 4 games, recording 3 total tackles in 2022. It was a great building block year, but in 2023 was where he really started to make a name for himself. He finished the 2023 season with 34 tackles, 7.5 tackles for loss, 5.5 sacks, which was 10th most in the Missouri Valley. He also had a team-high 6 pass breakups, 4 quarterback hurries, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery, that he returned 56 yards for a touchdown and a victory over Sacramento State in the second round of the FCS playoffs. Heading into the 2024 season, he knew what he had to do to become dominant, explaining, "My freshman year, I had a glimpse of, okay, I could be a dominant player. Going into last offseason, I just had to go 10 times harder, going down to Florida to train, and going back to Cincinnati to train. Just doing extra stuff. I feel like that helped me improve my game." Dominant he would be, as he would finish the season with 64 tackles, a Missouri Valley Conference leading 9.5 sacks, and 18.5 tackles for loss, while also having 3 pass breakups, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 fumble recoveries, one of which he returned for a 15-yard touchdown and a loss to arch rival South Dakota State. He helped lead the Coyotes to the semifinals of the FCS playoffs after beating Tarleton State and UC Davis before falling to Montana State. He would be named AP First Team FCS All-American and Missouri Valley Defensive Player of the Year, and he explained the accomplishment saying, "That was really like the cherry on top for me, winning Defensive Player of the Year. It was mostly just winning our conference championship, being probably the best team to ever come through that program. Being a part of that was just great for me. I think that was the most exciting thing. Defensive Player of the Year was cool, but just being able to leave a place better than what I found it was exciting." He decided to enter the transfer portal following the season, earning offers from Kentucky, Mississippi State, Georgia, and Ohio State, among others, choosing to return closer to home with Kentucky. He was rated a 4-star transfer and the 56th best player in the transfer class according to 24/7 Sports. He put in the work this offseason getting prepared to join the SEC, saying, "I feel like I've gotten stronger in the last 5 weeks. I've been here, so I've been getting stronger so I could be more dominant in a run game, and just more dominant overall. That's what I need to improve on, and that's what I'm improving on right now." He could be a dominant force in the SEC this season. He's likely to start alongside Washington State transfer David Gusta and rising junior Jaden Williams with 2 years of eligibility left. The last player I want to talk about today is from the NAIA level and a player named Dwight Lewis III from Marian College, who will look to make a name for himself at Mississippi State this upcoming season. Like Humphrey Grace, Lewis is from Ohio, playing high school football at Fairborn High School. Lewis is someone who would fly under the radar playing as a wide receiver and safety as a junior, but a move to corner changed everything. He told 24/7 Sports, "My junior year of high school was really slow. I was kind of a late bloomer, so it was hard to kind of get my name out there. I played defense a little bit. I played receiver and safety. Those were my 2 things. I moved to corner my senior year, and that helped things blow up a little bit. A lot of those D1 schools just didn't pull the trigger, so I went to Marian." Like the previous 2 players I mentioned earlier, Dwight would not be rated by 24/7 Sports Composite and would not earn a single Division I offer, deciding to go the NAIA route. Marian is located in Indianapolis, Indiana, and is a Catholic Frenchian university with a student body of 5,174 students. All Dwight wanted to do was to continue playing football, so he jumped at the opportunity to continue his career and got to work. He would play in 1 game as a true freshman, recording 1 tackle against Lawrence Tech, and would redshirt. As a redshirt freshman, he appeared in 1 game against Madonna and was on the traveling roster, but would not dress for the NAIA FCS quarterfinals. Lewis remained focused, and it would pay off his redshirt sophomore season as he would finally earn a starting spot, explaining, "There was a different coaching staff when I got there than when I left. The corner coach, Steve Tutsi, always remained the same. He was the one who really drove me there. I knew that he could develop me. After seeing what he did for his son, Michael Tutsi, who played at North Dakota State when he was growing up, I knew the direction I was going." During the 2023 season, he would be named All Mid-East League First Team, finishing the year with 6 takeaways. He could have transferred following his breakout season, but chose to stay, telling 24/7 Sports, "The guys that I came in with were really just like family. They are like brothers to me. A lot of them were there at my wedding. The quarterback, Tristan Polk, was the best man. A lot of those guys hadn't played yet, so I wanted to have the chance to come back and play with them for at least 1 year. I just wanted us to go as far as we could." He would have another dominant season last year, finishing with 25 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, a forced fumble, 4 interceptions, a blocked PAT, and 2 pass breakups. He was once again named First Team All-Conference, and with his son on the way, he decided it was best for him and his family to make the jump to the FBS level. As he would explain, "I want the best situation for them. My wife is the driving force behind everything. Any decision I make has to go through her as well. We're going to be raising a baby, so we have to make sure that we're going to be in the right environment. We have to make sure everything is comfortable, because our son will always come first." Emma went with me on the visits. She went everywhere with me. It was a great being able to do all that with her. In high school, I never got to do all that stuff. I'm getting to experience all of this for the first time with my favorite person. That just makes it a whole lot better. His final 3 schools would be Arizona, Mississippi State, and Wisconsin, choosing to become a Bulldog. He was a 4-star transfer according to 24/7 Sports and will have 2 years of eligibility according to On3. He told On3, "I'm coming with a lot of energy. Chip on my shoulder. I put in a lot of work to get here and I need to keep putting in the work just to prove myself. I know the coaching staff will be doing a good job of developing me." Stories like Lewis's, Gronowski's, and Humphrey Grace's are the reason why I love covering college football. Everyone takes a different route and enters the transfer portal for different reasons. While the portal has been controversial for years, sometimes it also provides us with the best stories like these guys who were all overlooked coming out of high school, but have proven they are great players and the real deal. What do you think? Who is your favorite player from the transfer portal this year? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out one of my other videos YouTube thinks you will love right here. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.